how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. I have some Bethesda news for you all today because I did a recent investigation in the ZeniMax and I found some evidence that seems to suggest that a new Wolfenstein game or something related to Wolfenstein is on the way. And there is even more evidence to point towards that this new game might be online only, and even though a lot of people might be mad to hear this, there's going to be a chunk of the Wolfenstein community that is going to be very excited to hear the possibility related to this new ZeniMax trademark. I know it's confusing here at the start, but don't worry because as always we'll be going through this information together because I'll be recording my screen, that way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always on point, and that way you have the links to verify this for yourself if you choose to. And we're going to start our adventure right here at our old friend, the list of current and pending trademarks and patents filed by ZeniMax. You can see there is a ton of stuff here. I think I say that every time I do one of these videos, but anyway, you can see immediately there are a few new things filed here. There's Alpha Dog Games, which you already know about. There's some more motion vector stuff, which ZeniMax loves to file new patents for, but the one we're going to be talking about today isn't Vault Boy, but instead is Enemy Territory. And real quick, it is likely that ZeniMax is just trademarking Vault Boy for merchandising purposes in Europe, and that this is not a sign of a new game. That's why we're not talking about Vault Boy. We're talking about Enemy Territory. And immediately, a lot of you may think that this is a new franchise or new game altogether, similar to Giant Monster News and Spy Team, which are two other ZeniMax trademarks that we have yet to see any sort of intellectual property, any kind of game, expansion, DLC, any kind of merchandise, nothing at all related to Spy Team or Giant Monster News. Some of you may think that Enemy Territory is going to join the ranks of those two trademarks. However, that is not the case because Enemy Territory already exists within a gaming universe and actually somehow already exists within ZeniMax's gaming universe, even though previously by their own admission they said that they don't own the rights to this trademark, yet here they are filing it. Like I said, things get a little weird here, but before we get too deep into the weirdness, I want to solve this trademark mystery by saying that Enemy Territory is actually a Wolfenstein spin-off game that apparently Activision published a long time ago, and Enemy Territory eventually became open source, and it is a open source multiplayer first-person shooter game set in World War II like Wolfenstein usually is. This game gained a cult following. I have never played it, so I'm not exactly sure why, but some people say that the game was ahead of its time in many ways and was just fast, fluid, and the shooting was really fun to play. The cult following exists until today, and there have been several petitions to ZeniMax and Activision and whoever, Steam, to get this game re-released or to be uploaded onto Steam and other digital platforms like that. You can see there's actually a letter to ZeniMax right here by a member of the community that was sent this year in 2019. I believe it was February 2019 this year, and ZeniMax actually responded to this. You can see basically the person was writing to ZeniMax asking them to release the source code and assets and everything related to Wolfenstein Enemy Territory that would allow the people who actually run and support this open source Wolfenstein game to be better equipped and prepared to deal with updates, upgrades, maintenance, and stuff just like that. It's always easier to have the actual original assets to a game if you have like a community spin-off of it. However, unfortunately, it's kind of rare for developers to give those assets out there. For instance, id Studios, the original developers of Doom and Quake, actually released a lot of their original assets to the community, and that's how there was a lot of fan-created levels, and it created a pretty solid community around Doom even way back then before gaming was as popular as it is today. ZeniMax unfortunately doesn't usually release source code or game assets, at least not for free. If they do it in a like creation kit situation, which initially has free elements to it. However, as we saw, ZeniMax later on found a way to monetize all of these otherwise free mods by selling them through the Creation Club directly to you through Skyrim and Fallout 4's actual gameplay menus. Even years later, they found a way to put microtransactions into Skyrim, and they didn't even have to create the mods. They just created a little digital platform to sell other people's work. I'm sure they got a little bit of chunk of the money from these sales, but anyway, it's just, I don't like how Bethesda and ZeniMax have an out to using other people's creative content and monetizing it in that kind of way. I think mods should be free. If they want to be sold, maybe find another way to do it. That's just my own opinion. I know some of you may disagree with me about this, but let's get back to the information in this video. ZeniMax actually responded by 1, not giving the source code to the modders, and 2, saying they didn't because they don't own the rights to the source code. However, that is weird because as I found today, they apparently do own the rights to Enemy Territory because ZeniMax just filed the freaking trademark for it. But like I said, they responded by saying, "Thank you for contacting the Bethesda customer support. My name is Cody, and it is my pleasure to be helping you today. After further reviewing this matter, it appears that Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, which was released back in 2003, was not not published by ZeniMax, but was published by Activision. Having said that, in order for you to provide any feedback for the game, you will need to reach out directly to Activision, since they are the publisher of this game. If you have any further questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach back to us. And that's totally weird, because if they didn't own the rights to Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, why in the hell are they able to file a trademark for it? If they don't own the rights to it, then Activision is no doubt going to deny the rights to this trademark. But instead of waiting that long, I decided to actually see if ZeniMax did own the rights to Enemy Territory prior to the filing of this new 2019 Enemy Territory trademark. I looked it up like you can see here, and oh wow, what? They do own the rights to Enemy Territory as far back as 2005? ZeniMax is actually straight up lying to the people who are running the open source Wolfenstein Enemy Territory game. These people are running this game for free, they're absolutely not getting any profit from it. They're running this open source game because they actually love and enjoy playing the game, to the point to where they wanted to take time out of their free time to promote this game, to get other people to play it, and to actually fix it, add new content to it and stuff like that. You're telling me that someone who loves your content, your game so much, you're just gonna straight up lie to them and tell them you don't actually own the rights to Enemy Territory. Meanwhile, not only are you filing new trademarks related to it, but you actually did own the rights to it like more than 10 years prior to when this email was sent. You can see that it says it's still registered, it's not expired or anything, which means that ZeniMax kept updating the rights to this Enemy Territory trademark throughout the years. And this totally bullshit email was sent on February 7th, 2019, saying they didn't own the rights to the trademark. I don't know what Bethesda is up to here, but I have an idea that they actually wanted to monetize this themselves, because they saw how many people were actually so invested in the Wolfenstein Enemy Territory with the free open source game that they saw another opportunity to take something that the community made, just like they do with the mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4, put a price tag on it and sell it back to you. Because as we can see here, they filed this new trademark on December 16th, 2019, just about a year after this email exchange with the people running the open source version of Enemy Territory. Even though they said they don't own the rights to the game, they filed this new trademark. And the only reason they would file this new trademark this year, after 10 years plus of owning the rights to this previous trademark, was because they're planning to release a new Wolfenstein Enemy Territory game. And it's probably gonna be a freaking Wolfenstein Battle Royale, because there's a Battle Royale game for everything now. They even have a Battle Royale game where you play as a crab with a shotgun doing flips on the beach. That game looks like it's actually gonna be pretty fun. Probably more fun than the Wolfenstein Battle Royale game would be, because as we saw with Wolfenstein Youngblood, a Wolfenstein game that is primarily online only loses what makes Wolfenstein actually be Wolfenstein. It loses the soul of the game, which is the actual story-driven, single-player elements with action-packed cutscenes, awesome characters, and just a unique story. If the game was online only, sure, it would have its things that make it fun, but it just wouldn't be Wolfenstein. It would just be another probably watered-down, over-monetized, full of microtransactions, online-only game. Whether it's Battle Royale, or another co-op type game, or something altogether different, if it's Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, it's most likely going to be online only, and if it's something made by ZeniMax that's online only, it's definitely going to be fully monetized to hell. One interesting thing though, before I try to end the video, is normally when it comes to these kind of trademarks, I look up the trademark ID, I look up any documents or paperwork I can find associated with the trademark, that way I can break this thing down and try to get as much information as I can. However, in this case, looking at the Canadian trademark database, which is what this new trademark is filed for, there is no sign at all of this trademark. You can see we'll take the application ID right here, look it up over here on the Canadian trademark database, which is what this is actually filed for, by the little leaf right there, Canada and their leaves, and we'll look up the application number and nothing pops up. We can even specifically select application number, and again, nothing pops up. And one other thing about the Canadian thing, another reason why ZeniMax would need to file a new Enemy Territory trademark for Canada, is because if they're going to re-release Enemy Territory, they want to be able to have as many trademark rights to it as they can internationally. That's why ZeniMax usually files a trademark for the United States, a trademark for Europe, and a trademark for Canada with most of their major game releases. I know there's a lot to take in here. We got this new Enemy Territory trademark, we're gonna get a new Wolfenstein game, and it's a Wolfenstein game spin-off of a previous game that's already been free, supported by the community as open source for a long time, a community that asks ZeniMax for the assets to the game so they can continue to support this game that they love so much, and a community that ZeniMax lied to because they plan on ripping off all of the hard work, all of the work that drove the hype hype behind enemy territory, and they plan to release it themselves so they can fully monetize the hell out of this online-only Wolfenstein game. Apparently, they didn't learn their lesson from Wolfenstein Youngblood, and this is unfortunately another negative sign from ZeniMax. I hate doing these negative Bethesda ZeniMax videos, but it's a new discovery I just made, and in reality it is a negative situation, and like I've always said, I'm gonna call things like they are. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. If Bethesda does something bad, I'm gonna call it out, and ZeniMax, what the hell are you doing? You should be listening to your community, but as always, you'd rather listen to your needs for money rather than listen to the needs of the community. As always, I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this. Sorry if I was a little chaotic in this video, I'm just kind of pissed off at this discovery. I thought I found a new exciting Wolfenstein game that we were gonna get, but then when I looked into it a little bit further, I discovered it was just some straight up ZeniMax lies and deceit like usual. Be sure to let me know what you think about the situation down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the intro, then I make it featured in the future video. Be sure to like the video if you enjoy the content, it helps a lot more than you might think. And if you want to stay in the know when it comes to the latest and the greatest gaming news, be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss the latest videos. Follow me over on Twitter for the latest channel updates. Come over to the official Skullzi Discord chat server where there is always an awesome and active conversation and some speculation taking place. If you got some of that holiday gift money, you can come over to the official Skullzi merchandise site over on Loot Drop on Teespring and get some hype Skullzi merch to help support the channel. And if you want to help support the channel and bring future videos like this, then consider subscribing to the community over on Patreon or joining the channel here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these awesome things are down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when ZeniMax somehow finds a way to monetize me looking into their trademarks so they can make money every time I make one of these videos. That would piss me off.
It just works.